welcome to Conversations with Miss T, and that is me. Today we are having a conversation with Mshasha Zwinepe, known to us as Mfojo. We went to the same high school. He is now a multimedia artist. Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope that you will enjoy this. When did it all?
I
When did it all start, man?
in high school, it all started in high school.
Yeah,
Remember in high school, I used to take pictures.
I think you were in the press team. Were you not in the press team? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But then before the press team, let me actually take you like back from where everything started to how it even got to be in the press team. So basically, it all started when I started actually at school. I was selling sweets. So I used to sell sweets and your breads, your watwats, your indomines, your Cadbury's, and so forth. But then the profit was like too little because like maybe per sweet you'll be making around 15 cents. If the profit is good, 10 cent. So it got to a time where it was draining. I felt like, no, this is a lot of work and the profit is too little. So I had a friend that had a camera. In fact, not even my friend, it was my cousin's friend. So the guy had a camera and he used to take pictures around and he used to like go house to house. I'm like, hey, my man, you don't have clientele. You see at school how many kids are there and you see how many pictures I'll be taking a day. So let me go take pictures and we'll come back and share the profits. I was like, oh, no problem. Then I think I did it for a week with this camera. And then I was looking at the profit. I was like, no ways. I'm sasheri man. I'm getting my own camera. So then
Right.
I got my own camera. So that's when everything started. But then at that point, it was just me hustling. It was just me trying to turn myself into a cheese boy. Finding because it was back in the Skotane days and it was fashionable to attend gigs and stuff like that. So so I had to make sure I make my own extra income for my own entertainment.
Yeah.
So that's how it all started. Then the press came along when there was actually a press team. I wasn't even part of the press team before it started. When the Gazette started, I was just a guy with a camera and they wanted to take pictures. And then
Okay.
they're like, go take these pictures for us. So I used to take pictures for them until their first issue. So when they released their first issue, they didn't credit me as a photographer.
Nice.
And I was like, uncredited, doing my own magazine. And
Oh,
remember
they
with Gazette.
didn't. I thought you said they did. That's why I'm like, it's nice. Oh, they didn't.
No. They didn't credit me. They credited themselves. They actually wrote someone else as a photographer. Then I was like,
What?
you guys didn't credit me. And I'm the one running around. You guys are not even paying me because I wasn't charging them for that. And I was like, and remember, it was monitored because I know it was done by the tourism class and I was in the science stream. So, Tina bebazivalela ngaphandle and such, but
Yeah,
no, it's
cool. Yeah, yeah.
the tourism and so forth. And I was like, all right, I'll start my own magazine. And I did exactly that. So when I started my own magazine called Student, yeah, that's when things started to hit the roof and the fan and everything just started coming together. And that's how my own magazine came about, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I remember you being up and down, busy and about, but I honestly did not really know what you were busy with. I just know that after I left, you used to host a lot of events.
True.
Yeah. And so
Still do.
you were like, you became like that party. I know it's a bad term, but you became like that party animal, like if people
They
wanted
used
to
to call
go.
me Abuti Nice Time. I'm sure you've
Exactly.
attended one. I'm sure you've attended one.
I
Is
did.
the
I
filter?
did. There was a house
Oh,
party
thank
at your
you.
place that was
Yeah,
so unplanned, but it just happened.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So obviously, most of my friends they lived outside of Graceland. So remember, I lived like 2 minutes away from the school.
Yeah.
So I was the one hosting all these house parties and stuff. So from way back when we were still in school, like maybe we'll finish around 11 writing, transport gets there around 2, 1. So with the free time that we have, it's going down at
Wow.
my place. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the only like remembrance I have of you. But I'm so happy with you turned that into something that, brings in the guap, man.
Most def. Because actually, when it started, all of this when it started, because I remember Nasenji, like they forced me to do science. I wasn't into those things. Remember, I used to host poetry sessions at school.
Yeah.
I used to host events at school. So
Yeah.
I was
That
more
was
in that entertainment space more than anything else. But then we grew up knowing that if you want to be successful in life, if you want to do well, then millions is science. That's where the money is at and so forth. But
Yeah,
then when you grow up, then that's when you realize, which you know what,
it's
actually
not
money
the
is
same.
everywhere. And it's
Yes.
actually even nicer if you're making it doing what you love and you don't even feel like you're working.
Just wait. Whenever you're talking, your camera keeps doing this. Why?
Oh, I think I keep hearing the table. Never sleep.
I'm getting too excited.
Let me
I'm so
let me
glad
not
you
even
said
touch.
that. You said money's everywhere. Wow.
Yeah, most def. Most def.
I'm just letting that sink in. I'm just letting it sink in.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Let it.
Okay. So
Everywhere.
money's
Everywhere.
everywhere. Find your passion. I like that. And
True.
and I think you also became very popular after I left because I knew you through we were in the same stream, but I mainly knew you through Desire, who was my very
Yeah,
close friend. And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, but we never really had that close relationship. And I'm so sorry
Yeah,
now because I'm like,
I think you guys were top achievers, Lapaya, and the rest of us were like, you were like, hey, those ones. You guys were the
yeah,
cool kids out there. Like, we used to like, everyone, like, every top class, what was. I remember there was this one incident whereby they were selecting a few learners for Star School.
yeah,
And I think it was around grade 10, and that they selected and selected, like, if you, I think they selected about 5 or 8 of them.
yeah.
And they were like, okay, you guys are selected for Star School. So every Saturday you'll be attending Star School, whether
Uh-huh,
it's like
uh-huh.
that or what team. And I wasn't selected. And I knew very well which I lied. Then I went to the office and found out why are those like selected? Like, no, they're like top achievers. I'm like, I'm also a top achiever. Why wasn't I selected? Like, no, and guess what? On that Saturday, I went and attended those classes with them. I was there and they were like, were you selected? I'm like, no, I wasn't selected, but then I deserve to be here. And then the principal of Star School Albert was like, oh, so you think you deserve to be here? I'm like, definitely. They're like, okay, sharp, then you can start attending. I was like, thank you. So it was like, I wanted to see myself everywhere and turn easy into basically, if we'll say cars, you'll
You
put it
still
like
do,
that.
yeah, you still do.
That's at least now, like now I do it ngendlela. It's not like before whereby I'll just jump on anything. Now I think before I do it. So at first I was like, I wanna be this. I used to force through everything. Because I also think maybe in high school I thought I wasn't a cool kid and I wanted to be so cool to a point where
Yes,
Uti
yes,
sometimes got too annoying, but then
yes,
I'll do it anyway. I'll
yes,
be the old one trying to be funny in class, knowing very well I'm not.
yes.
I'll be there one that will just stand up in the middle of class and go throw away a piece of paper in the dustbin. So I was that child growing up.
You're saying all these things, and I'm just like, yes, you're using all these terms I didn't want to use, but I'm so glad you're aware because that's the kind of person you were. Because
Yeah,
you were
I'm
you
very
were
much.
everywhere and a little annoying. I think the reason why I even gave you a chance, well, not now, but then the reason why I gave you a chance because we had a mutual friend, and I really respected the friendship between with Desire and us and myself.
Yeah.
But I'm glad, Uti, you did not let like I have no other term to describe you but like hustler, bruh. You're like a true
Yeah.
definition of a hustler. You will find your way into friendships, into Wow, I like that.
And
I
I
like that.
remember the first incident with you, like my first interaction with you before the normal ones, those ones were afterwards. We were even out of school by then.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I remember you were in a relationship, a very famous relationship at that time. Everyone knew about that
Wait,
relationship, which
wait, wait. Was it Umafi?
yeah, I didn't want to talk names, but then I'm glad you did it. So now I'm even more free to talk about it. So you guys were like those high school sweethearts and whatever. So I remember I got to this other day, like I got to chill with you in a corner and be like busy asking you about your relationship. And you were quite honest and open about it. And that wasn't even for magazine content. It was like, yo, this couple, those high school sweethearts that everyone knows about. Like,
Yeah.
oh, damn, this is cute. I'm gonna have that one day and I'm gonna ask you how they do it. And then I was like, I remember there's a line you told me. I don't know if you remember, you were like, no, the problem is I'm with Mafia and I'm happy with it because he knows which buttons to press. Although at that time that didn't really make sense to me. I was
How
like,
do you still
button. I don't forget. That's one thing about me. Like I have a very good
Yeah.
memory. Like I can paint
Listen,
pictures like
I had
Ganzalo nje.
Umafi was an amazing boyfriend because he made sure I was okay.
Mhm.
And he was just so cute.
Aw.
I found our picture together at home, and I looked at him and I was like, he was so cute. And his mom knew we were actually going up, but his dad could not
Yeah,
find out.
yeah. Yeah. No, that
And
was
so I remember when we were waiting for the bus, because we used to live in Wicklow Park, so we would wait for the free bus.
remember
So he
that,
would
yeah.
wait with me sometimes, and he would just say the sweetest things in the world. So that's what I meant
Aw.
when he said, he knew which buttons to press. And during school holidays, he would walk all the way to Wicklow Park to come see me for a couple of minutes. And when he showed
Yeah.
up, and remember
Guys, we're talking about 3 kilometers. For those who don't know, we're talking 3 kilometers. I don't know. Good.
Here's one thing that stood out. Umafi used to have the cleanest shoes in the world. Remember?
I remember. And then his competitor became Dumsani, also followed the trend.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know if they
yeah.
used to brand those shoes or whatever. I used to even think they put Vaseline. I actually tried it once and put Vaseline in the shoe. I was like all dusty all day, and I don't know what I was doing. But then I
Yeah,
remember like he had the most shining shoes ever. Even
yeah.
if like we were just chilling, we don't know who we're talking about. The guy with the shining shoes, then we
Yes,
know,
that was him.
oh
He was
yeah,
known
man.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot
Mm.
believe you're bringing this up now. Now people are gonna
Hey, I don't
know. I had a
forget. Like
high school
I sometimes
sweetheart.
remind my mom. I remind my mom of things that I used to do when I was a kid, and she's like,
Yeah.
"There's something wrong with you. You remember that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have a very good memory."
And
I don't know
so
why, but then when I study, the memory just disappears. But then, yeah,
no, it's fine, man. We're all gifted in different things. I'm so
true.
glad you found your calling. You found what works for you. Because now it's like being in the science stream, other than the friends that you made, it's kind of meaningless, you know?
True, true,
Yeah,
true.
yeah. Wait, there's something I wanted to say. Oh, okay. So now you're finding out all these. So now you're self-aware, right? Like aware of all the
Yeah.
things that you used to do and how you used to be. Do you find yourself feeling embarrassed, guilty about how you handle some situations back then?
Quite honestly, I think if I found those embarrassing, I wouldn't be talking about them right now.
Okay.
I take them as I believe I had to go through that to be where I am right now. Because all my life I used to believe that I'll be doing science, and then I'll be maybe an electrical engineer somewhere
Yeah.
or along those lines.
Mhm.
But then I knew that wasn't for me, because although I did pass quite well, for me to get those marks was a struggle for me. Like I
Yeah.
had to cross night.
Yeah.
I had to, it was insane. Like for me, because
Yeah.
remember, me and Desire were best friends in high school, and we used to sit on the same table. Yeah, well,
You stole
that
my
time you
friend, by the
scoring.
way. I'm not happy about that.
So what?
You stole my friend because the design I grade 8, 9, we used to be tight, and then you came and you stole my friend. Continue.
Oh, I stole. Oh, a skis. I'll borrow you sometimes, but then he's here now. So what happened is, what design was like a top achiever, because it was like your 80s math class, like 80%, 90%. So when you're sitting, I remember this other incident when we were drawing graphs in Sembata's class. So there was that hyperbola and parabola thingy, the chick that we used to draw. So I remember that hyperbola, parabola used to smile. One of them used to smile, one of them used to look down. So there I was, after all the calculation, how mine is frowning and his is looking up, and that's when I knew it. But then I'm so confident with myself. I know he's a top achiever, but then I'm like, this time he got it wrong. Most damn, no way. I recalculate and I still get the same shape. I'm like, no. So I remember when they were like, Desire 100%, when they were giving out the scripts, Desire 100%, we clapping. That's when I knew that, okay, there comes my results. So yeah, I think being overconfident to a point that I didn't find it embarrassing. And you guys finding me annoying at some point used to actually, those are the things I used to like. Like, yeah, Dina Long, yes. Because I was quite aware of what I was doing. Unlike you trying to, so what I was doing and what I was being told was basically you guys emphasizing, yeah, you're achieving what you're trying to do. So yeah, that's how I took it.
Oh gosh, you're so hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the people that loved you really did love you. I know for sure. Like the people that wanted to stick with you, they did stick with you and they found ways to make your relationship work. And I think you didn't have that much luck with the girls back then. Only now it's like, hey,
You,
ladies, man,
I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, let me tell you a story, ne?
tell me.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'll tell you why I started all of those things, ne? I
Okay.
think when we reached grade 8, ne? That's why everyone was dating by then within my circle. Remember in my crew, it was me, Desire, Levu, and Israel. And remember, they're all friends from Villa Lisa. So when I
Villa
came
Lisa,
on
yeah,
board, then
yeah,
it was like just only me from Graceland, but then I was within that crew.
yeah.
Okay, me and Desire, we were, yeah, stick at 10. Desire was more or less like me. But then with Desire and Levu, they had high school sweethearts, it was known and so forth. And not that being a shell, you're being pamper. You guys are going out like nigga wasn't trying. I don't know what I used to do wrong. And remember, I was a poet back then, so you can imagine how good I was with words. And then I'll be like, maybe it's the looks. If it's the looks, then I can't do anything about that now. So I'm again. So that's when I think I started dating around 2009, around grade 9, 10, after the magazine
Who was your
phase.
first girlfriend?
There was quite a few at that time because they all came at the same time.
Wow.
There was quite a few. I don't want to name drop now.
Okay, okay. So
I don't
then
want to name drop, but
you
then
became a player basically.
remember, you've been getting all these rejections for quite some time, and now you're popping, and now you're like, hey, it's my time to shine. And I'm not gonna
And you
let it
did
go down
shine.
without
You
happening.
did shine.
Yeah, I did most definitely because now remember, like this is a publicity whereby when they say a fortune is dropping on Friday, I'm telling you, good wonke umuntu ubambe 5 rand yakhe epokoteni.
Yes.
Yeah, well, and
Yes.
remember, with my magazine, what made it more interesting is because it wasn't monitored. There was no teachers involved. It was just me and my friends, and we were doing it
Yeah.
from my Wendy house that I used back to have
Yeah.
back in the day. So with such things, um, we go for things like I'm a student, but I gossip. So they didn't care about the academics. They didn't care about you guys. I'm a top achiever, though we had you guys with top achiever inside. They didn't care about that page. Like they used to just pass. There's one page that was in the middle called Guess What? There was a page I remember
Yeah.
quite well. It
Yeah.
was called Guess What? And then that's where all the gossip was there. Who's dating who did what, and I think that was also made me do my last issue. I did my last issue after that because the gossip there was too hectic.
Yeah.
To a point that I remember there was this other crew of girls that wanted to flash me in the toilet. That's
Yes.
how hectic that magazine was.
But
Like,
you
because not
didn't
all
care. You
I
didn't.
don't care at that
Yeah.
time it's popping. Remember, at that time you're not thinking psychologically. You're not thinking there's a student that after 2 issues will write a letter that you're getting started. But then when I got the suicide story, when I did my last copy, I was already out of school by then. I was now in tertiary, but then the magazine was still running, and that was the last year that it ran.
Wait, the suicide what?
I thought you were out of Graceland by then. So what happened is there was an article about someone that we wrote about that girl, she was doing 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and then she even changed schools, and it was quite a bad experience because she was even like threatening to commit suicide over what Fortune wrote about me in the magazine. Then I'm in
Yo.
the offices. Now it
Yo.
was bad. Things are hitting the fan. She can't go to school. And now it's like a matter of Gucci. How did you even start this publication in the first way? Like who approved it? Like what was going on? Because I
Yeah.
was forever in the office in trouble because of that magazine. But then now I'll sell it after school out of the school premises. But then it still has people's names.
Ooh.
But then although we didn't use your real name, if I was like that girl dating that guy with the shiny shoe. She thinks she's all that wara wara. Automatically, we know who's dating a guy with a shiny shoe. So I
Yeah.
didn't write names, but then it was just too
It
obvious.
was pretty
But
obvious, yeah.
yeah, it was rumors that would be circulating. So remember, at that point, you don't even fact check. So I learned all these things after when I was in university. That wow, so all this thing I've been doing all along has been illegal, and it's been out of like this world and so forth. But then I'm glad that I went through that, and I'm glad that we don't have a story where I would say someone is no more because of such a publication. And I
So
happened to actually
hang on,
actually called me.
hang on. What happened to that girl?
She changed schools. She's doing quite well. She started a magazine as we speak. I remember her calling me like, uh, in fact, I think I called her because like there was a production that we were supposed to work on in a short film. And I was looking at the crew and the cast, the pages that gave us just before the shooting, and her name was there. So she was going to be working on that production. And then I was like, I called the guy doing the production. I'm like, hey, man, hey, there was bad blood between me and her, and I don't want to mess up your production. Let me talk to her just to find out where we stand and
Yeah,
how
yeah.
it will be. And then she
Did
was actually like,
you
no,
did you apologize again?
yeah, I did apologize again. I did, she actually even asked me that. I know, actually, that magazine like built my confidence in such an amazing way to a point that it actually inspired me to do my own
Wow.
online magazine that I'm doing right now.
Right.
And then, yeah, we actually cool because even after that, we continued chatting and so forth. Like,
Hmm.
hey, those times arrogant because I remember like I even went to my inbox, ne? To my inbox like earlier this year, and I was trying to look at the messages that I used to receive in those days, and I was like, I was such an animal. I can't believe
Yeah.
isn't me that I use like like no, it was bad, it was hectic. There's a point
Okay.
where I had to like sit with myself and try
Mm.
find myself again with Ndwana. You were that ruthless, like
Yeah,
because
yeah.
yeah, no, it was bad. It was bad.
So now I'm trying to okay, so I think that's when your pride had to die then, when you got called into the office so that they can just slam the truth in your face and say this is how you're affecting other people. And that's when you decided
Yeah.
to do some self-reflection. Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's true. Because I immediately stopped with the project after that. Uh, Although they were saying like, no, you can continue with the project, but then this time, these are the guidelines you need to follow. And then I was looking at the guidelines that I had to follow, and then I'm like,
Not
these
for
are the
you.
ones that are missing all the selling points because everything that
Mm,
actually getting the magazine bought is everything they don't want.
mm.
So I was like, you know what? Lucky enough, I got an intern with the SABC. I was doing a religious TV show called
Ah,
Bonita Nani
nice.
on SABC One. So when I started doing that production, then I didn't care about anything else. That's when I started building my career. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Magazines, because I didn't even do journalism after school.
Mhm.
Because when we finished school and I went to UJ and I wanted to do journalism, but then at the same time in the back of my head I wanted to do so much because I had a camera. I didn't just want to do only photojournalism until I went to Media House, Boston Media House in Sentin, and then at least their catalog was offering me so much more in the space of 3 years because it included radio, television,
Mm,
photography, and
mm.
graphic design, and all of those things that I wanted to do. And to see, like in the first year, you do all the subjects, which shows your PR, just the introductions to PR,
Yeah,
marketing, and
yeah.
so forth. In the second year, you choose maybe 3 or 4 subjects that you liked, and then on the last year, then you choose a specialization.
So
Then
that
at
was
least
more
by the time,
relevant. That was more relevant for you.
yeah. So by the time you get to choose a specialization, you have an idea of what's into all of those other things. And
Mm.
I actually majored in radio. And then with radio is a very small medium radio. I mean, like a radio station can be run by 27 people.
Mm.
And it's quite difficult getting a job there because someone has to leave for you to get the job or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
right. But you were
So
not meant to work for corporate. I think you wouldn't survive in a corporate world where you're being managed by
yeah,
somebody.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't. Because even when I was working as an intern for the SABC, I think I only did that for 8 months. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like after 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 thinking after like I was saying that after SABC, that's when I started. I was given a radio show on
Nice.
Kasi FM, 12 to 3 midnight, and then I think with the radio show, that's when I started reviving the brand. And now at least I came back with another name. Remember, my nickname in high school was Mfojo.
Mfojo, yes, yeah.
Yeah. So when I came back after I was doing my internships behind the scenes, after I've been quiet for maybe 2 years,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
came back as Mshasha.
Yes.
And I was actually given that name on the breakfast show by a guy called DJ Mgabe on Kasi FM. So what used to happen is that I was on the breakfast show as an intern. I was reading Bengenza weather and traffic.
You weather.
Yeah, I was doing weather and traffic. That was my first job on radio, like weather and traffic.
I cannot imagine you.
And now, because it was a community radio station and it's a Kasi, and I wanted to add a bit of vendor flavor to it because there was no one doing anything in vendor. I would actually do the traffic in vendor. And I'll be like, so my vendor wasn't quite good because remember, I was vendor, ne?
Yeah.
So the traffic wasn't well. Good name, like you'll try and translate pothole and trying to translate pothole into vendor, and then you just whatever that comes into your head.
Do you remember any of the lines that you used to say? Can you say them for me, please?
Hey, I remember them like yesterday. I was listening to my demo actually a few days back that I actually submitted.
3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to it. It is 97.1, a Kasi station for Kasi people. This is your boy, the Mfojo, Mfojo. But you can call me Mshasha, and it's Shashi for the ladies. Looking at the time now, it's 13 minutes past the hour, 2 o'clock, and I'm about to give you guys nothing but the best of local and international entertainment. By the way, if you just tuned in, hey, call your neighbor Mchele Guti, hey, Chamala se radio and selfie. And then I'll maybe have a song there, or break. And like, yeah.
That is so amazing.
You didn't know that side of
me. Okay, I want the vendor part. The vendor.
Oh, the vendor part that I used to do. Okay, let me switch back to the traffic. So of like, okay, now Mshasha with the traffic. Okay, come says the N3, but the one and a pile over the one traffic and a palaka N3 Bazino Sukara. Come see our Yaburaro, hey, the potholes are Palazzo Dare, so Darami good, dynamic good. Marabas the one Minikar says, Zanepala, Honeca spread view. I spread view, I do not track as we know, Ghana, Nepala. Hey, have a be careful along this line. So I used to mix it like that, like, come on, this words well that. Switch it up and like, hey. Yeah, well, which one is this one? You think that doesn't exist? Wasn't good to know that one actually, like, yeah, it is proper, like.
You don't know creativity for days, yo. Okay, that sounds amazing, bro.
Yeah, so that was me on radio back then. And that was me actually before starting Mshasha Zwinepe. So after radio, I moved to manage a club called Ipumuza Mapigo.
Yes, I remember seeing photos of you sitting on that royal chair, brah.
Yeah. Those are the days. I think that's like what changed my life completely. 2016. I think that's when I made my first stage check. You were saying?
In a good way or in a bad way? You said change your life completely.
I think in a good way.
Okay. Tell me.
That was in a very good way.
Okay.
Pumuza Mapigo. Remember when I went to Pumuza Mapigo, I was still fresh from Tico events. Because while I was in Kasi FM, I was also on Tico events. Tico events was doing events at Carnival City.
Right.
And they used to host this huge, big events, Lapaya. So I was doing visual editing, like those, whatever that would be happening on the screens on the side on the day of the event, like up next, just Nyovers, whatever. So I'll be that guy in the background editing those things and so forth. So I already had a background in events and I was working for this huge events company. Mm-hmm. So when I got an offer for Pumuza Mapigo, remember Pumuza Mapigo back then in 2016, it was still being built. So it has no history. It's not like a Tico events that was already huge. And I'm riding on that boat and, it's already up there and have to maintain it and keep it up there. So with Pumuza Mapigo, the advantage is that it's here. So the only place you can take it is up. So even if you took it up a notch, that's a little bit, it wouldn't show that you actually don't know what you're doing or whatnot. Right. But then with Pumuza, that's when I actually got to experience things firsthand because I got a guy that trusted me with high budgets, like, hey, my man, I trust you. How much do you need to do something like 1, 2, 3, and 4? Go do my calculations, go do my research, come back to him and be like, I need so much, and this is how much I'll give you back in profit. And he'll be like, oh, all right, let's do it.
Wow.
Like, I wouldn't trust someone with 1,000 rand or something, and trusting me with such a budget. I remember the first event we did was like the budget there when I'm dropping shells, it was over 2 million. So it was a 3-day event. So now we had over 27 celebrities, like every artist that you know was there for 3 days. So that was my biggest breakthrough. That's when I think I made a lot of relationships with a lot of people, because it was more of AI invasion, I say, Joe's. Because it's somewhere where everyone wanted to go when they landed in Joe's. And then I pushed it until 2017. And then in 2018, that's when I started my own company, Mshasha Zwinepe. And it wasn't bad blood or anything.
It was just time.
I used to listen to a lot of motivational speakers. I remember listening to this other guy. I don't even remember who was saying those lines, but then they still in my head even today. Like, if you don't build your dreams, someone is gonna hire you to build theirs. And then
I think it's Les Brown. I've heard that before. It's Les Brown.
You read that, then I was like, all right, I think maybe this is time I also start building my dreams. And then it's been growing ever since in the most amazing way ever, to a point where that I got to hire most of my friends that we used to hustle with back in the days, and a lot of people got to benefit from.
I love that.
Love that. It became such a beautiful story for most of us, made a huge difference in most of our lives, and I think I'll forever be grateful for the opportunity that I got there.
Yeah. Now, can you give me some advice, because I also want to make a difference, but I am so worried about becoming popular and what comes with that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So how would you advise me then in that sense? It would say, yes, you're going to make connections. These are the things you should avoid. These are the things that you should definitely go for.
Well, in such a situation, it's actually hard to tell, because even with me, most of the things that I was experiencing, those are things that I had to make calls before making some decisions, because there's things whereby they just come and you can never be prepared for anything. You can never prepare that much. But then the biggest advice I can give you is avoid the signature without thinking. Anything you're in doubt with, avoid the signature. It's okay for you to say, can I go read this? Can I go seek second opinion? And I'll bring it back to you. That's in terms of contracts.
Okay.
In terms of those decisions that you need to make on the phone, like, hey, Palisa, we need this and this and this and this and this. Like, how much can you do it for? Don't try to call things from the top of your head.
Okay.
Because that becomes a very huge disadvantage. Because sometimes you're like trying to secure the bag and you just think, you're estimating. Tell them no. Just give me a breakdown of everything you want, and I'll get back to you with pricing. And then by that, then you won't shoot so much yourself in the foot. Because I think my biggest fear of giving others a chance, my biggest fear was that I was afraid that they would experience the mistakes that I've done before.
Yes.
And once they do those mistakes, then they only take the company back. So it took quite a while before I can actually send out the guys to do a project without me being there. Because there's the small things that you miss. You can, it's so easy to put your camera, set up everything exactly, and then everything is running and you just forget to press that record button. Those are silly mistakes that I don't care how professional you are, but then those are things that can happen to anyone. You find out that you're recording, you just have maybe your audio cable not sticked in correctly, but then now you recorded the whole service and you don't have the audio. Those are mistakes that happen. You're in an event taking pictures, you're confident, and then you get home, you're like asking yourself, why are my pictures all blurry? Those are mistakes that one would go through, and those are mistakes that they were my biggest fear for the longest time. So what I did is I carried them over for about 3 years. Like for 3 years, I'd work with the guys and not allow them to go anywhere without me. So there's a point whereby I would even give them a camera, knowing that I won't use those pictures they're taking, just for them to be there and for them to, that whole experience and so forth.
Yeah.
And they'll come and show me, and I'll see maybe it's blurred at that time, but then now I can't show a client that I'm with someone that's learning here. So you show me, I'm like, at least when you as a client sitting there, it's a wedding day, you see us nodding our heads, showing each other, like, that one they took it.
It makes them feel confident.
Down, like, hey, what is this, and so forth. So when we come back, and that's when I sit them down again, guys. let's go try this again. I'm not gonna use these things. This is not so. Would you pay so much for something like this? Honestly speaking, and then sometimes you have to be harsh. And the most thing that I also learned is that, hey, doing business with friends, that's the most scary one. And I wouldn't advise it anyone. I don't know how you close with your friends and so forth, but then I've tried it with different friends and it
It
doesn't work for me.
backfires. It does backfire. I
It
know. Yeah,
doesn't work
yeah.
for me at all. So I think, yeah, that's just about advices that I can give when it
Did
comes
you
to.
so now you also had to manage people, and I see that you've started mentioning this. How did you deal with bad blood? People who thought that maybe you were being a terrible boss and unreasonable, and they didn't really buy into your vision or your perspective at that time.
There's something that we're afraid of doing, especially if like we're heading projects and it's letting go. And I think that's the best peace of mind you can give it to yourself. I think
Letting
to a point
go.
where if I'm sensing bad vibes at the end of the day, like remember, it's not a big company whereby I'll take you counseling and so forth. If you can't work with yourself and you can't give me good attitude, you're gone. And it's as simple as that. Like we don't even have to go too way about it. Hence, like I'm very skeptical about contracts. I prefer freelancers. If I give you a contract, then you must know that you know what, like everything I see, maybe Mshasha in, because remember it's all about that vision. Mshasha
Yeah, yeah,
Zwinepe.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And to a point whereby when people started realizing that I'm Mshasha Zwinepe, I had a problem with that for the longest time. Hence,
Mhm.
I avoid my pictures in billboards and in car brandings will just have the logos and maybe pictures of other people, because I didn't want them to like assign my work with me. I wanted Mshasha Zwinepe to be that brand whereby even if I send a group of guys and you don't see me, and as long as they have that logo just next to their chest, then you're like, no, I'm happy with those
I like
guys.
that. I like that. Yeah.
Because now, to a point where it was becoming a problem, because now maybe we have 3 weddings in a day. Obviously, I can't be in 3 weddings for separate.
Mhm.
And like, I Lana that by and like, if you're not here, then I know they booked you. I'm like, hey, with the same company. I mean, like, if I can show them half of the pictures I took and you guys took, they wouldn't even
Tell the
identify them.
difference.
That's
Yeah.
how solid my team is. We can
Hmm.
take 5 pictures of the same person today, and I post all of them giving credit to Mshasha Zwinepe, because I never credit myself in pictures, because especially the ones with the logo, because I believe we're a company, we're a team,
Yes.
and I
Yeah.
can't be telling everyone that works on every picture. But then it's hard for you to tell which one that was taken by me and which one was taken by another team member. So
Hmm.
I think
Hmm.
that's one thing that we've mastered and has been helping us grow.
Yeah. Wow. What is your definition of Black excellence? I'm so sorry. I'm learning so much from you, right? Like I want to take it all in now.
Yeah.
What's your
Well,
definition of Black excellence?
Black excellence, my definition is ownership. It's ownership. It's creating opportunities, and it's moving from A to B. As long as it's
Progress.
still on A and you're not moving, then I don't care how much you're making. But then if you're still on the same spot, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, any other black brother or sister, because that's another problem that I used to have. Like I remember, like in most cases, when the team is still new, building a team is very difficult.
Mm.
That's why it took me so many years to build a team, and that's why after so many years, we still have a team of only 3. Although we have 12 freelancers, but in the solid team is 3 of us, and that's because it's so hard building a team to a point of that when building a team and they see that the business is successful, and I don't blame them. That was me. I mean, like a friend of mine, a friend of my cousin brought me the camera, but then after taking a few pictures and seeing that I can master this craft, I didn't want to be associated with him. I wanted my own camera. It just goes like that. We can't change it. You're working for this big corporate company, you're feeling underpaid, you're feeling less appreciated, you're gonna definitely go and try and start your own thing on the side. That's
Right,
just
right.
something that comes with business, with building a business, and you can't run away from it. Although
Mhm.
that was my biggest fear, because now you're a small business, you have a team that knows how much you charge and everything, and they're like, we can do the same thing as doing, and then they're all starting their companies on the side, and then now it becomes very risky, because now you guys are marginalizing like a very small company and you're playing around the very same market. that this company is benefiting from.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now it becomes quite a big disadvantage. Because remember, if like I was working for a huge corporate company and it has over 1,000 clients, they don't even know them by name, some of them. And then maybe you're poaching 2 or 3 from them and they hardly
Doesn't make
notice,
a
they hardly get
difference.
a
Yeah.
knock.
Mhm,
But then you have maybe 3 big clients and then one is to disappear, then you're like, okay, now you actually feel it. But then at the end of the day, it's just a matter of sticking to the vision and knowing exactly what you want and just willing to take risks every day.
Are you in the position to let go if somebody felt like it was time for them to go, your team members?
Yeah, most definitely. I think I would even throw out with a farewell party for them.
Okay.
Uh,
That's so
I think
mature
they've,
of you. Yeah.
yeah, I feel that they've done wonders for me in my life. I mean, like ever since I started, because I remember there's this campaign that I was working on the weekend. And then for me to do that campaign, although it was just a pitch, it's still an idea that I had. For me to pitch that idea, I needed about 25 people that would volunteer to work with me. And I think I managed to hook up that in a day. Because I remember calling Desire, like, I need athletes, dog. Can you hook me up with 5?
Mm,
Since you're a guy that's always running and so forth. It's like, yeah, I got 5 friends of mine that we can come through. Thank you. Oh man, there's this guy that I know always cycling around. Man, can you hook me up with a group of 5 more other cyclists? There's a campaign that I would like to work on.
mm,
Yeah, no,
mm.
sure, no problem. So like the whole thing that became that, that's when you see the difference that you do in so many people's life, and they'll always remember you when you need their help at the end
Yeah.
of the day.
Yeah.
So if any of my team members they feel that they're ready to stand on their own and they're ready
Mm,
to expand, I'm more than willing, because I'm even at a point whereby my expansion right now is expanding along, because there's people that ask me that, don't you want to do anything different on the side? I'm like, if I'm gonna do anything on the side right now, I'm behind the camera. If maybe I'm to expand to another thing, maybe I'll be hiring out cameras. I just wanted to be within what I do best and within what I know. If
Yeah.
it means I have to start creating my own cameras and selling them, then that's my expansion. That's what I think. I wouldn't move to logistics and want to start learning from the scratch and so forth. I think that's one thing that we also need to also consider when we talk expansion.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Whew.
Yup.
You said a
Talk to
mouthful.
me. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I okay, so I'm totally the opposite of you, right? When I want to expand, I want to learn something new. So now I'm currently in teaching. So I would like to learn business. I would like to learn photography. I would like to learn because it makes me feel like I'm not being complacent where I am. But like you said, different strokes for different folks, right?
Exactly, exactly. And you not even wrong for wanting that. You're more
Yes.
than right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. If it works for me, yeah, yeah. Have you seen my book, by the way? I'm just gonna throw it out there because
Yeah,
I'm
the
like
fat man, yeah.
the
The
big
fat
fat
that
man.
yeah, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've
When
seen
are
it.
you getting a
I think that
copy?
even now, I think after this conversation, I should get one. It's just that I've never gotten a chance to talk to you, but then I've seen it rotating and I've seen it. I know it's a kid's book because that's how informed I am. Like, junkie into like everything that happens around me, I'm very much informed. I'm very
You're very
much
much
aware of.
aware. Okay, yeah. We would
Yeah,
love to send you a copy. I would really appreciate that.
yeah, no
Okay,
problem.
so you know what? I think that maybe let's make time to have another conversation because this, what everything you just said to me, I I
Mm-hmm.
I need to process it because I know
Not
it's
a
information
problem.
that I need. And I feel like I owe you an apology for because you never really know how life is going to turn out after school. And I think
Yeah,
that even though you deserved it because of the kind of person you were in high school, maybe we should have given you a chance. Maybe we should have looked at you and said, there's a reason why he's like this. Let's not sideline him yet.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
No, I
that's
believe you guys.
so that's another thing that I think I need to probably correct in my life right now, to look at people whose personality I don't really agree with and say there's a reason why you are like this, and maybe this is going to benefit a lot of people in the future.
I feel
Okay.
this might be a motivation to even another black child that's walking around the hood right now with a camera.
Right. Okay, go for it.
So like, okay, and Mshasha Zwinepe, most of the most memorable projects is we shot the Chris Brown concert.
You did?
We
You
shot,
did?
yeah, we shot Tamia when she was in the country.
Nice, man.
We shot the Nissan Micra when it was launched in the country.
Wow.
The most recent one would be the Minister of Education, Panyaza's Lesufi's online speech on online application.
Okay,
We were doing
okay.
that live streaming, and it's been so much of achievements and so much of big projects that we've been behind, to a point that some of them you can't just list them on top of your head unless you have
Right.
them dotted down. But then so far we've done quite a lot of projects that like we look back and be like, wow. We currently have SAP as one of our biggest projects. Like
Nice.
we're doing their safety campaign videos, the nationwide induction videos were done by us. We recently just
Wow.
did an online profile for your Ekurhuleni, TVT, East College, all campuses. So we're quite busy with big campaigns that we wouldn't have dreamt of or thought of in any other day. Because remember when we started, all I knew was that this weekend there's a graduation. So
Yeah.
shoot,
Yeah.
oh, my name is 5 years old. I live, those type of vibes.
Yeah. Hey, we plan those events, okay? Be nice.
No, I'm not saying you guys are doing a bad job, but then I just love it. The confidence that was me. They remind me of myself in high school. No better confidence. My name is 5 years old. And I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. I live in Jabulo. Oh, Jabulo is the name. Okay. I'm joking. Hey, I'm joking. Hey, I was book. My graduation was a crash. Hey, we love you guys. We love you guys. We love you guys. No, thank you very much for having me. I really enjoyed the chat. Got to reflect a lot of things that I actually had forgotten most of them. But then, hey, yeah. And then if I offended you in this interview, I'm waiting actually. Skis. I'm very apologetic now. We have, we have brands to lose and all that, so we think much. No, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Things you say about him,
Some Trevor Noah show, and ngeke phela. You've been serious. I've been watching the other interviews. I've been serious.
Okay.
Hey, desire was one year.
Okay, my tummy is sore now. Okay. Sorry, best team guns. Oh yes. Your biggest achievements. Keep going.
But then they're all online. I'm sure it feels like nobody's business. Just follow Mshasha Zwinepe on Facebook.
You did great. I am so happy. You just made my day. I'm really, really happy with you did this.
I'm glad to have done that. I actually came rushing. I'm like, because my phone rang at past and I was still far from home. So I was like, oh, but then I'm closer to Graceland now. So let me quickly rush to Graceland.
Oh, smart.
Set up there.
Were you excited to have a chance to talk to me as like a former schoolmate?
Yeah, I'm more than willing for such, because remember, like when I was told, actually I have bumped into a few clips, the ones that you normally have on Facebook, and then I did watch a few, But then I was in a rush of just scrolling through. So when Desire told me about it, actually, that's when I started searching. And I'm like, damn, I'd love to do this. This is more of like a mini podcast and just have a conversation with a former schoolmate. And it's quite cool because remember in high school, we never spoke that much.
No, we didn't.
So now it's one of those, but then it's more of those things whereby you know everything about it. It's cool, and so what I mean, I was well informed because everybody's business was my business.
Yes, yeah.
So I really enjoyed the conversation, and I'm not just saying this for the cameras or the views.
I know, yeah.
It was quite genuine, and I really like what you're doing, and I hope it grows. And you actually remind me when I was still starting my YouTube channel.
Yeah. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, you should, but then it's more, you should love music because it's artists, prominent artists, so they just come perform and leave.
Oh my goodness, I have so many questions, but we cannot start. I wanted to ask you about no, I'm not gonna ask it because if I ask this question, you're gonna want to respond and then we'll not stop.
What was the question? I'm curious now. I want to respond, please. Come on.
No, because I look at celebrity and I see them as ordinary people, right? I can see past all that facade and the fame and the celebrity-ness. So I wanted to find out what your experience was with those people. Don't answer. You see? No, don't answer. Another one. We have to plan another one.
No, this was proper, eh?
This is very nice. I'm in Taiwan.
Yeah. Sounds far.
I saw those
many now. So what like Chinese type of vibes or have you learned any other language? Have you learned any other
Do you want me to say something in Chinese?
You lie! This is so interesting.
你好，我的名字是 Palesa.
You! I felt like I was watching a Jackie Chan episode for a moment.
That's how I feel when I'm speaking Chinese. 谢谢.
You!
It's so real, man.
Does that fella, that's me talking Venda to you. Does that really sound well? Is it something you're not making up or?
No, I'm not making it up. I just said hello, my name is Palesa, and then I said thank you.
What's thank you?
谢谢. I don't know why I keep doing this, but whenever I say 谢谢, I just wanna,
Yeah, okay. 谢谢.
No, 谢, like 谢谢, like 谢谢.
Oh, 谢谢.
谢谢.
Oh, that probably is actually from what it's English.
That's wrong. That is so wrong.